Hey folks, how you doing? Dave McRae here. I know this is not the backdrop you were expecting, but yeah, I'm sitting outside. It's a beautiful day here today. It's not hot, but it's quite warm. Don't let the hoodie fool you. Anyway, yeah, I just wanted to upload a video and give you my thoughts on the San Diego Comic-Con Halloween 2018 panel, which happened yesterday. A lot of you guys have been wanting to know my thoughts, so I thought I would give you sort of an informal presentation on my thoughts. And this is what I have to say. First of all, you guys know me. You know I'm going to be honest with you. If you agree with me, great. If you don't, I couldn't care less. I mean, like I always say, I always hope you do, but I mean, I don't lose any sleep at night if you don't. Um, because I'm not here to confirm your ideals or confirm your biases. I'm going to tell you what I think and let the chips fall where they may. That being said, and I think people appreciate that. At least I know I appreciate that from other people that I watch. So, what I will say is this: I am aware that new footage slash trailer dropped yesterday. I read over the transcript because as of shooting this video, the trailer is not online. It's not on YouTube. So I read over the transcript, and I didn't read it in any great detail, and I didn't read it 500 times. Um, but I got the gist of what it was, and it sounds interesting. Sounds exciting. I can't wait to see the shot. I'm more interested in the shot than actually what's going on in the shot. I'm more, interested in the execution of the shot than what's actually going on in the shot, because it sounds like, yes, stylistically, I'm very excited to see how it's executed. But all that being said, in regards to and if you want to read it, if you want to read what dropped, the transcript of what dropped, it's all over, it's all over the net. So you can Google it and look for it for yourself. That being said, in regards to the San Diego Comic Con Halloween 2018 panel, which you can watch online, it was uploaded last night after the fact. You couldn't watch it live, but it was uploaded a bit later. Um, I have to say that I was a little underwhelmed. The panel, the Halloween 2018 panel at arguably the biggest pop culture convention of its kind, certainly in North America. You could make an argument for the world, although there are some pretty big ones in other places around the world. But certainly in North America, certainly for, Hollywood films and all that kind of stuff. Your Halloween 2018 panel, which is arguably one of the most anticipated movies of the year, certainly the most anticipated horror movie of the year. Your panel consisted of Jamie Lee Curtis, okay, great, David Gordon Green, Malek Akkad, and Jason Blum. And that was it. And I was like, Now, there's many reasons why others may not have been able to attend. Contractual obligations with other commitments, prior commitments that they could not get out of or that they didn't want to get out of because it, was more important that they be doing whatever else it was. 100%, I understand that. But I'm surprised. Just, taking it at face value, I'm surprised I did not see Judy Greer there. Is it Allison Matichuk? Is that her name? The one playing Laurie Strode's granddaughter? Anyway, I was surprised I didn't see that actress there. I was expecting at the very least. I mean, this is, the 40th anniversary, a sequel to the original film. I am surprised that we didn't at the very least get those three together, and maybe even James Jude Courtney, a perfect opportunity to introduce your new Michael Myers to the world. Because as of right now, up to right now, people are very focused, and understandably so, on Nick Castle's return because he is the original shape. Nobody knows James Jude Courtney really through a hole in the wall. So his performance, no doubt, will get the praise, as I'm sure it will once we see the movie. But as of right now, he's sort of, an afterthought. It's all Nick, 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 which is understandable. Like I said, I get it. But I thought that would have been a perfect opportunity to hear him speak, not just read, the transcript of what he has to say about donning the mask and the role, but to actually hear him speak. I thought that would have been a wonderful opportunity. Now, again, there may have been reasons, specific reasons why he was not there, and that's understandable. But just at face value, I saw the panel, and it was very underwhelming. There wasn't really any new information that was given, really. I found the one-on-one interviews that happened either before or after with the various media outlets that were there attending much more informative and much more interesting. We found out in a one-on-one interview with Jamie Lee Curtis uh, that the character of Laurie Strode has had two relationships in her life. At least this is what Jamie Lee Curtis said. They didn't last very long. They were sort of, fly by the night, one night stands sort of relationships. Obviously, she ended up pregnant in one of them and had a daughter, but her daughter was taken away by the state. So Laurie Strode really has no relationship with her daughters at all. Oh, sorry, with her daughter and her granddaughter at all. She suffers from PTSD, which was one of my predictions I made back in February, that is a likely scenario, just based on what we knew about her character back then. And I also said that it is more than likely that she will have some sort of strained relationship with her daughter and her granddaughter, and that looks like that's going to be the case. So, yeah, I found all that very interesting. The female reporter who was talking to her asked her if one of her relationships was with Ben Tramer, and Jamie Lee Curtis said, "Who?" And the reporter was like, "Ben Tramer, from the first." And she had to think for a moment. It was like, "Oh yeah, the guy that I was saying." No. Now, is she being coy? Is she being serious? I think she's being serious. It looked pretty genuine. So I think I'm going to go out on a limb, which again I don't think is a very narrow limb, and say that the probability that Ben Tramer appears in this movie, at least as Laurie Strode's estranged boyfriends or something like that, is probably highly unlikely. The father of her daughter is probably highly unlikely. But I found all that interesting. I found sort of, what she had to say. I mean, she did sort of recite that on the panel as well, but there really wasn't anything. I mean, Blum didn't really have anything much to say, really, of any, real significance. And neither did Malak Akkad. And this isn't I'm not attacking them personally. I'm just, looking at the panel, and there really wasn't anything there. It's always fun to see them there. It's always fun to see them together. It's always fun to see, Jamie Lee Curtis there, and sure, of course, yes, 100%. But in terms of information, in terms of being able to actually hear from the other actors, I mean, we're only a few months out now. This was a perfect opportunity to get not necessarily the entire cast. I wasn't expecting to see, 28 people up there, but I was surprised at the very least we didn't get the three ladies. And maybe James Jude Courtney. John Carpenter, that doesn't surprise me. I don't think it surprises anybody that he wasn't there. Nick Castle, that doesn't, I think Nick's out of town, because he's attending a lot of conventions. Nick attends a lot of conventions. He's awesome. Nick Castle is so down-to-earth, genuine, such a nice guy, nice man. And I believe he may have been out of town. So, like I said, if there are prior commitments, if there's specific reasons why Judy Greer and James Jude Courtney and the like could not be there, that's fine. But if there was no reason, no specific real reason, and they could have been there, I think that was a mistake. I would have absolutely had them there. It would have made the panel much more dynamic. The focus would have then been off of, because really at the end of the day, Jason Blum, David Gordon Green, and Malak Akkad didn't really have much to say because of the star power of Jamie Lee Curtis. Not that they're not, stars in their own right. Of course they are. But Jamie Lee, everybody wanted to hear from Jamie Lee Curtis, right? So I get that, I understand that. So it's almost like it would have helped to have some buffer, to have the other characters there, right? Because she was the only character from the movie there, right? Malak Akkad, David Gordon Green, and Jason Blum are not playing characters in the movie. So she was the only character. She was the representation of the character, from the film. And I get that it's, she's Laurie Strode, but it just would have been nice to have a few other people there. So that's my overall kind of thought on it. It was what it was. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was just kind of like, okay, it was what it was. It wasn't, I didn't find it, I didn't learn really anything new, other than, like I said, a few bits of interesting information about her character and where the state of her character is now through the one-on-one interviews, which I found more interesting, really. So yeah, and the moderator, a lot of people were talking about the moderator. Her name escapes me now. The woman that was moderating the panel and how she never shut up. I agree that she was humming and hawing and agreeing a little too much. Um, I, I feel bad for her because obviously I don't think she was, doing it to be annoying. But with something like that, when you're moderating a panel, it's very important that you do understand that the stars of the show are not you. The stars of the show are the guests that are there. And there's nothing wrong with saying or oh yeah 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 yeah. Every once in a while, maybe when one of the guests makes eye contact with you. So if Laurie Strode, if Jamie Lee Curtis was to look up, like if I was moderating, and Jamie Lee Curtis was to look up at me and acknowledge me while she was saying something, you might hear me go, right, 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 because she's making eye contact with me. But the vast majority of the time, they're not making eye contact with the moderator. They're making eye contact with the audience. So it's the audience that they are speaking to, right? And you're just moderating the panel. So you let it organically flow. And I found that she was doing just a little too much. It didn't bother me as much as maybe it did some other people, but I absolutely can certainly see that yes, you know, there's nothing wrong with saying, oh yeah, cool, cool. There's nothing wrong with saying that every once in a while, if it's clear that the guest in question is maybe acknowledging you by making eye contact. But other than that, just let them speak to the audience. Let the audience form their own You know what I mean? Don't speak for the audience. So anyway, that's really all I have to say about that. Interesting nonetheless. I can't wait for the footage to drop online, if it does. We all know what happened with CinemaCon and how long it took for the trailer to actually drop. So it's entirely possible it may not drop online at all. It probably will, though. So anyways, yeah, comment below and let me know your thoughts. What did you think of the panel? And yeah, I'd love to know. My name's Dave McRae. If you want to follow me on Facebook, you can at facebook.com/manythingsdavemcrae. The link is in the description. If you want to help support the channel each and every month via Patreon, you can as well. That link is in the description too. So in the meantime and in between time, I will talk to you guys soon. Cheers.